All right, today we're tackling a topic that is absolutely changing the game for how good work gets done. We're talking about tech for good, how technology can be a real force multiplier for nonprofits. We're going to break down how the right digital tools can help organizations like yours amplify their impact and, focus on what really truly matters. Okay, let's dive in.
So let's just start with a number, 90%. What if you could cut down the time your team spends on all those manual, repetitive tasks by that much? Just imagine what that would unlock. We're talking more time for community outreach, more time building relationships, more time actually driving your mission forward. This isn't just some made-up number, it's what's actually possible.
For so many people in the nonprofit world, this feeling is just all too real. It's what we call the nonprofit treadmill. Right? You're working incredibly hard, you're passionate, but you're just bogged down by scattered information, endless paperwork, and super limited resources. It feels like you're running as fast as you can, but just staying in the same place. So, how do you get off?
Well, the very first step is to reclaim your most valuable resource, the one you can never get back, time. So in this first part, we're going to look at how technology can tackle that problem of time scarcity head-on and give your team the focus it desperately needs to innovate and connect. This slide just paints such a clear picture, doesn't it? The old way, it's organized chaos at best. You're digging through a million email chains just to find one document. You're fighting with 5 different versions of the same spreadsheet. The new way, though, it's a central digital hub. It's the difference between constantly looking for information and having it right there, right when you need it.
And making this switch is actually more accessible than you might think. We're talking about tools like Asana and Monday.com for managing projects, or Slack and Teams for communication. And here's the best part. Almost all of these platforms offer huge discounts, or are sometimes even free for nonprofits. This is not about needing a giant tech budget. It's about being smart with the tools that are out there.
And this right here shows you the real-world results. This isn't just about being a little more organized. Just take Habitat for Humanity. They took their entire procurement process, all the paper forms, all the emails, and moved it to a streamlined digital platform.
And the result was a pretty jaw-dropping 90% reduction in that cycle time. 60 days of chasing paperwork and waiting for approvals became just 5. That is an absolute game changer. It frees up staff to focus on their real mission, building homes.
So, once you start freeing up all that valuable time, where do you point all that new energy? Well, let's get into our next section, which is all about transforming how you talk to your supporters. It's about shifting from thinking of it as a cold database to a vibrant, engaged donor base.
And this is so important, and the data here tells us exactly why. See, donors today, they don't just appreciate personalization, they expect it, and they reward it. Almost 70% say a nonprofit's communication style affects their decision to give again, and 44%, nearly half, would actually give more if that communication felt personal to them. The era of the generic dear friend email is well and truly over.
But, and this is a really crucial point captured perfectly in this quote, this is not about replacing human connection with software. You simply cannot automate your way to trust. The goal is to use technology to amplify human connection, not to replace it.
So here's what that actually looks like in practice. Without these smart systems, you're stuck sending out generic blasts, and you risk missing really important follow-ups. With them, you can send personalized updates based on what a donor cares about and make sure every single gift gets a timely thank you. And, most importantly, it frees you up for the stuff that really moves the needle, making those personal calls to key supporters.
In fact, here's a super simple, powerful strategy you could automate right now. The 2-week rule. By setting up this simple sequence for every new donor, studies have shown you can boost repeat donations by over 80%. It's a perfect example of using tech to build a strong relationship right from that very first interaction.
Okay, so you're saving time, you're building stronger relationships with your supporters, but how do you actually prove that you're making a difference? Let's jump to our third section and talk about how data can help you measure what truly matters.
And this means going way beyond just fundraising numbers. A really powerful way to do this is with something called social return on investment, or SROI. I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but the idea is pretty simple. It's a way to help you calculate the total value you create, social, environmental, and economic, not just the dollars you bring in.
And to see just how powerful this is, check out the story of JVS Greater Boston. They ran an SROI analysis and discovered that for every single dollar they invested in their programs, they generated $20 in social value. Can you imagine sharing that number with a potential donor? That's the kind of story that data helps you tell.
And data also helps you tell that story to the right people in the right way. That's where segmentation comes in. As you can see here, a first-time donor needs a totally different message on a different channel than, say, a long-time major supporter. Data lets you move from using a megaphone to having a meaningful, one-on-one conversation.
And the impact of doing this is just undeniable. UNICEF Australia started using predictive analytics to really understand their donors better. And the result? They boosted their net revenue by 26% and their campaign ROI by a huge 35%, all while saving money by not mailing people who are unlikely to give anyway. It's a total win-win-win.
So all of this, it brings us to our final and maybe our most important idea of all. When you use it the right way, technology isn't some cold, impersonal thing. It is, in fact, a profound humanizer.
So let's be crystal clear about the goal here. It's not to become a tech company. The goal is to use tech to automate all the machine work, which then frees up your amazing people to do what only they can do, the human work of building trust, inspiring action, and creating a community.
But here's the reality check. Right now, fewer than 15% of nonprofits around the world are considered digitally mature. Now, that's not a criticism at all. I see it as an incredible opportunity. It means there is a massive runway for growth and impact for any organization that's willing to lean into this change.
We really should think about technology exactly how this quote from Microsoft's Justin Spellhog frames it. It's not a cost, it's a multiplier. It's the digital foundation that makes every single other part of your mission, every program, every fundraiser, every human connection, that much more effective.
And so we'll end with a question for you to take back to your team. Your mission at its very heart is about people. It's about human connection and human impact. So take a hard look at your tools, your systems, your day-to-day processes, and ask yourselves a simple question. Is our technology helping us be more human, or is it just getting in the way?